So just a general rule for every time we have a staff meeting or every time we have a training, these are the general rules for all the meetings that we have. So make sure you guys don't have your cell phones on, that you're not, it's a distraction when we have a meeting and you guys are constantly looking at your phone. And it's not because I'm looking at anybody. I have a list of rules that I have to go over with you guys. So don't feel that I'm looking at you. And so just like I said, general rules for whenever we meet, we have a meeting, so we have trainings, anything like that. Focus on whoever's presenting. If you have any questions, by all means, go ahead and put them in the chat or ask us directly once we stop talking. And then share any thoughts. If you feel like there's anything that you need to share, go ahead, share anything that you want, and always take notes. Please always take notes. You always want to have your notes to go back and refer to whatever we went through in a meeting, whatever we talked about. So always take notes whenever we have, like I said, a training, a meeting, anything like that. So like I said, again, welcome to Upper Bound. The program has been at IBC for over 40 years, but it's existed for over 50 years. It's a really neat program. We try to help as many students as we can. And I'll go a little bit over the information of what Upper Bound is. Go ahead, Alia. So like I said, welcome again. We have two programs, which is the Upper Bound Classic and the Upper Bound Math and Science. Some of you guys are going to be working for Upper Bound Classic, and some of you guys are going to be working for Upper Bound Math and Science. A little note here, we are impressed with your academic excellence, and we're excited to welcome you to the Upper Bound program, which is a federally funded program, by the way. Go ahead. So this is the agenda for today. We're just going to cover what Upper Bound and Upper Bound Math and Science is, why Upper Bound. We'll talk a little bit about professionalism. We'll talk about Google accounts and organizational skills. We'll talk about the tutoring, how it's going to go over Zoom, some tutoring apps that we have, which are the photo study, and then Khan Academy. We'll talk about, Erica will cover timesheets and the logging process, mandated reporter training. We'll talk about important dates. And then at the end, if you guys have any questions, like I said, feel free to put them in the chat. I know sometimes we think about a question and we forget at the end. So if you guys think about a question, want to put it in the chat, we'll go over them at the end. Go ahead, Aliyah. Switch to the slide. Okay, so the Upper Bound Classic, with that program, we serve 139 high school students, and the purpose of the program is to prepare them for a college entrance. We provide opportunities to students to succeed in high school and in higher education. With the Upper Bound Math and Science, we only serve 60 students, and these students are more focused on the STEM field. So like you said, in total, we have 199 students with both programs. So we serve students who are from low income and low income and first generation backgrounds, which means that neither of the parents hold a bachelor's degree, and all the services that we provide are completely free. So any student that comes into the program, all the services that we offer, field trips, residential components, commuter components, tutoring, all the services are completely free for them. Go ahead. Okay, so the goal of the program is to help students achieve their academic goals. The students come to us with their specific objectives. These might be range from simple obtaining a passing grade to earning an A in the class, or just decreasing test anxiety before an exam. Wherever your students are in the academic process, our goal is to help them reach their dreams and teach them how to be effective learners overall. So what we want is to be able to help their students, not if they're at a D, we want to help them slowly get to a B, to a C, to a B, to an A. Whatever you see, it's possible in the students. Not all the students can make it from a D to an A, but if they try really hard, some of them actually do it. So try as much as you can to help our students reach their potential and their goals. Go ahead. So why upper bound or upper bound math and science? Students from low-income households are more likely to not graduate from high school, to not attend college or a university, to fail to obtain a college degree. They lack mentors and role models. They lack guidance and support, and they enter the cycle of poverty. So what we want is to be able to assist the students as much as we can. And honestly, you guys are like the role models. You guys are there, you guys help them, the students see you as the role models. You talk to them about your pathway, because most of the students or most of the tutors that work for us have similar backgrounds to our students in the program. A lot of our staff is actually was a student in the program. So the students see you as role models because they see that you are succeeding and they can make, they can be the same way. So please, when you are in the tutoring sessions with the students, try to be in your best behavior, try to use correct language and things like that. Go ahead, Alia. So the benefits, the satisfaction of helping a student achieve success is very gratifying. I can tell you by my own experience, I've been with the program, like I said, about 17 years. I come from a similar background to my students, and it's always rewarding to see your students succeed. I feel like it's a success for me when I see my students graduating from high school, obtaining a college degree, and I'm pretty sure my colleagues can say the same thing. Alia was a student in the program at some point a few years ago. And I can tell you, we work together and we always talk about how happy it makes us to see our students succeed, reach their goals, and be able to break that cycle of not getting a college degree. Additional tutors are often reported that tutoring enhances their own study skills and understanding of a particular subject. It is an amazing opportunity to change the future of students. So since you guys are helping the students, I mean, it kind of keeps you, I've been out of the tutoring for a few years now, so I don't get to practice my math, my English anymore. But I know that when I was a tutor, because I started as a tutor as well, I got the opportunity to practice through the students, like my math skills, my English skills, my social sciences and everything like that. So it's rewarding to be, like I said, in the program, but at the same way, it helps us practice those too. Go ahead. So we really want to stress on professionalism. I know we're going to be doing our tutoring sessions through Zoom. We want to make sure that when we reach out to the students, we are as professional as we can. Some of you guys are really young. You guys just graduated. You probably know a lot of the students that are at the center. But you guys are now employees of the program. You guys are not students of the program anymore. So what we want to stress really is professionalism. When you guys are meeting with the students, with the instructors, you guys will be reaching out to instructors if necessary. So, and I know at this point there's a lot of students struggling. We've met with a few of our seniors already, and they have mentioned how hard it has been doing virtual learning. So we know you guys are going to be reaching out to a lot of instructors regarding your students' grades. And then, like I said, we'll talk about everything, how it's going to go on at the centers, how you guys can best help the students achieve good grades. So always have a neat appearance. Wake up, if you wake up right on time before you start a tutoring session, just make sure that your appearance is clear, you have your hair it's in its place. You have a proper demeanor in person and online. You are reliable and punctual. I don't know how I can express this, but you always have to be on time. We expect that if you're going to be doing Zoom sessions, you log in at least 5-10 minutes before. And we're telling you by experience, every time we have an event, students log in like 15-20 minutes before the session. And I'm not saying that's going to be the case and you guys have to be logged into tutoring sessions 15-20 minutes before, but at least 5 to 10 minutes before the tutoring session starts. That way you start meeting students and they're not waiting on the waiting room for a long time, because some of the students are going to probably leave because they're going to think there's no tutoring and things like that. So please, if you be on time, that is something really important for us. Competent, you need to have excellent communication with the students. when we had our meeting with our seniors, I guess one of their concerns, or not one of their concerns, but one of the things that they really mentioned is they really want to have the tutoring sessions to be able to see other people. Right now with Zoom, all they do is log into a class for a few minutes and then leave. With tutoring, they get to talk to you, you get to help them, so they have communication with someone outside their home. So please have excellent communication skills with your students. Good phone etiquette. You guys are going to be responsible for making calls to your students. You're going to be talking to parents, you're going to be talking to grandparents, and they are concerned in the way you reach out to them. So always when you're on your phone, have a good phone etiquette. Be, what's the word I was going to use? Help me out. What's the word?
I don't know. But to add to that, you might make a call and leave a voicemail, and they might call you back late at night. You can decide to answer the call because you probably won't have I'm saying out of experience. If they call you back and it's after hours, you can decide to just let it go to voicemail and call back the next day. But I do want to remind you guys, when answering your phone is just as important as when making a call. So you might not have every number saved. So just remember when you're answering the phone, it might be a parent. So just keep that in mind the way you answer your phone or how you have your voicemail set up.
If you guys don't know how to make the phone call or what we're trying to tell the parents, you can reach out to us. We'll tell you how to make the phone calls. Most of our parents are Spanish speakers, so I hope everybody can speak Spanish. And if not, we'll help you out to make the phone calls, exactly how to say it. Sometimes we don't know how to say things in Spanish, so usually when we do a phone call or where we have to make phone calls, we get together. We'll tell you exactly what to say. That way you guys write it down, and when you guys are reaching out to parents, you know exactly what to say. And we want to make sure that you guys are using the proper language so parents can understand. If not, they call us back confused of what's going on. So be ready, ethical, be organized, be accountable. You guys are going to be responsible for a lot of students. And there's documentation involved with the tutoring sessions. Next. Okay, so like I said, when we were talking about professionalism, please be on time if possible. Like I said, 5 to 10 minutes before. Please notify us. Aliyah and I and Itza will be your immediate supervisors. You don't have to call our director every time you're going to be absent, or every time you're going to be late, or your internet's not working. And we understand there's a lot of conflict right now with internet's not working and things like that. So we totally understand that. But if you're not going to be able to make it to the center, if your internet's not working, if your computer's not working, if you're having any type of issues, go ahead and let us know. If you already know you're going to be absent on Friday, we don't work on Fridays, but if you know you're going to be absent on Thursday, you're not going to be able to make it to the center 2-3 days before, let us know 2-3 days before. Don't wait till Thursday morning to let me know that you're going to have a meeting if you already knew. But for example, if you got sick Thursday morning, just give us a call at least a few hours before the center is open. We just want to make sure that there's going to be a few of you at the center, but what if on that day everybody's out? We need to make sure that we find someone to replace you during that day so they can provide the tutoring for the students, or we do it ourselves. So please, just making sure that you let us know you're not going to be at the center. It's a great help. You have to let your tutors know, your other co-workers know, but you have to let us know. Aliyah and I will be your immediate supervisors. Like I said, we need to know when you guys are out. That way we can tell Erica and she can write it down when she's doing timesheets. Okay, please, it's really important. I don't know how I can express it, that we need to know if you're not going to be in the center or in the tutoring sessions. I'm sorry. So you guys, like I said, are going to be required to complete documentation. We'll let you know the documentation that you're going to have to be completing for the students. It's going to be, some of the documents are going to be due on a daily basis. There's some that are going to be due on a weekly basis. We'll explain to you when we reach at that point, but if they're due on a daily basis, make sure that you submit every day the documents that you're supposed to, and then the ones that are due on a weekly basis, you submit on a weekly basis. Please be really on point with documentation. Like I said, be professional with your students. They're not your friends. They are your students. Do not add them on social media. Do not make friends with them. You're there to help them. And the students, we have a lot of students that are really extremely shy. They'll go into the session, they will not ask for any help, but then at the end, when we see the grades, it reflects that they weren't understanding anything in the class. Do not expect them to always be asking questions. You guys are responsible to ask the students if they need help. We will be monitoring the students' grades every 2 weeks just to make sure that they're passing all their classes. And if not, then we'll contact you and let you know what, so-and-so is not doing so well. So please make sure that once you're in the Zoom sessions of the students, they have to log in to do work. If they don't have any work, you can put them to work in Khan Academy. They can go in to ask questions on the photo study app. So there's many ways that you can put them to do work, but they have to be working all the time. Like I said, if they don't have any questions, you reach out to them. You keep asking if they have any questions. Everybody's going to be in charge of a group of students. You'll have their names, their emails, their numbers. You have to reach out to them. If they're not participating in the tutoring sessions, I want to know why they're not participating. How many times have you reached out to them? If the number that we have on file is not working, we need to make sure that you let us know that the number is not working. So you guys are going to be responsible for reaching out to the students and making sure that they participate in the tutoring sessions that we provide. Go ahead, Aliyah. Okay, so I'm gonna turn it out to Aliyah. She's gonna be covering the Gmail information. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so Gmail. So for this year, since everything is online, we will be using email more than ever. So with that, something new this year is gonna. Okay, sorry. Okay, we're gonna be using Gmail. So you guys are gonna be creating a and you're in our instructions on, for example, the Gmail we want is to create, include your first and last name, and then you guys can add UB. If for any reason it's taken, you can add like a period, or you can also use the same one you have for Webstar, your IVC email. With email, be adding a signature. For example, Alia Romero, and then I have outreach specialist, classic and math and science, and then I add my phone number. If you guys need help with that, you guys can reach out to Rosa or myself or Itza about the signature. But from now on, when sending out emails from email, please always include your signature. With that, please, with this new email, check check your emails regularly, because that's gonna be the main way that we're gonna be reaching out. Also, we might be sending you guys things of different different topics, so you guys will create folders. We have a specific PowerPoint all about like how to create folders and organizing them. So I will send that out in an email, just if any of you guys need that. And then so you can add your Gmail to your phone, so that way you're getting the notifications of our emails. Okay, and then with the Google email, these are some things you can use to stay organized. So calendar, you can add contacts, you can save your documentation there on Google Docs. You can take notes. There's drives and meets. Like I said, we have a like detailed organization skills PowerPoint that I will send out to you guys about everything you can do on Google. Okay, and then we're gonna talk about Zoom. There's a few videos, but before that, we're gonna talk about Zoom etiquette. So for Zoom etiquette and when conducting tutoring, joining meetings, or any events we're gonna have, find a calm and productive space to meet. Um, and then also, like Rosa mentioned, if your tutoring starts at 3, please be like 5-10 minutes. Get there 5-10 minutes before. Be prepared and present. I think that goes with not being on your phone. That's the time for the students, or that's the time for the meeting. So make sure your attention is towards the students or the meeting or the activity. Your video must remain on, and that's for tutoring, for meetings, anything else. Um, Make sure your video is on and placed right, I guess, kind of just like shoulder up or chest up. Um, and then you guys can edit settings where everyone that enters their mic is off. Um, and okay, and then for your name, so sometimes you can change your name on Zoom, and unless you change it back, it stays that way. So just make sure you have your real name and in your Zoom when meeting with students or joining meetings with us. um, make sure the chat is appropriate and respectful. Sometimes students can start um, not being appropriate and respectful. So just as the tutors, make sure you keep it that way, or you stop it if the students start making it disrespectful. Um, Rosa mentioned it. Dress professionally. You guys can wear your polos. Uh, um, uh, Anything professional. And then I I had taken that one off. I don't know why it says raise your hand to speak. That doesn't go there. I don't know why I have it. So disregard that one. Um, okay. As you can see, most of us have a UV background. Um, so if you don't have it, we can share the background we use. But that's the background that we will be using for this school year. Also, try don't eat in front of the camera, um, especially when giving tutoring. Um, okay, and then like Rosa mentioned, don't be on your phone. I'm sorry, I downloaded the thing. We changed some of these rules, and I'm not sure why they're appearing um, differently. But ignore where it says never record virtual meetings. You actually will always record virtual meetings. So every tutorial session will be recorded, and that's for documentation. The students have already signed an agreement. If you're working in Brawley, I do have a student or two that cannot be recorded. So if that's one of the students, I will let you guys know, those who will be working with me in Brawley. Um, but a rule But social media, okay. So don't take pictures of the Zoom meetings. The students' faces come out, their names come out, and then post them on your social media, just because of many laws. Um, so you can record, but you cannot post anything on social media. With that, the Zoom setting is the same as a classroom. Anything that you wouldn't say in person at tutoring or in person to students, don't do or say in Zoom. And the same goes with the students. And then finally, it's a different experience, but let's try and enjoy it, make it as fun but as educational as possible for our students. Like Rosa mentioned, when we met with our seniors, they were so happy to see each other. I had a few saying like they were just happy to talk to other people. Um, so yeah, so that's kind of the Zoom etiquette for this school year. With that, um,
Let me share my screen because for
yeah,
some reason you have the one that is not updated.
it is. I just don't know why it downloaded that way, but okay.
Let me just make sure that I'm in the. You already have the video information, right?
Yes.
Okay. You guys see it?
Yeah. Thank you,
Okay.
Rosa.
Mhm.
Okay. So for the process, and stop me if something doesn't make sense or if you guys have any questions. So this is the way we're gonna conduct Zoom this year. So we have we covered the 7 high schools in the valley. So there will be one tutorial session per school. The way that looks like via Zoom is that one of the lead tutors, and we will let you guys know from each school, will be in charge of creating the Zoom meeting for their school. So there's only going to be one meeting, but they will make everyone else a host. Um, just in case that they can't make it. Once they make you a co-host, then you can also join the meeting um, without the main host creating it. Rosa, can you go back? Thank you. Okay, so and then also with that, um so we will sign once we let you know what high school you will be at. We will give you a group of students that who you will be responsible for contacting them. That doesn't mean during tutoring those are the only students you can help. No, you help everyone from your center, but when it's time to contact a student, those will be your students to contact. With that, students might have a big project or something they need help with. If they know ahead of time, let your students know. They can send you like the information so you guys can have it ready before tutoring starts. And also through Zoom, there's an option where you can share files. It's in the chat when you open it up. Right next to the 3 dots, it says file. And that way students can share anything they might need to. Um, so you guys can assist them. they can also they can also share their screen. But with that, if a student needs help individually, you guys can break out into a breakout room to better assist the student. Rosa, Itza, do you guys want to add anything for this
Okay,
tonight?
I'm just gonna, I guess, repeat what you said. So there's gonna be one tutorial session per school. So Central's gonna have its own, South is gonna have its own, Brawley, Calicut, Hopeville, Imperial, everybody's gonna have its own. The lead tutor per side will create the meeting, and it will make everybody else a host. So for example, for the meeting today, I didn't create it, but they made me a host for the meeting. So when I logged in, I became the host, and then I was able to accept everybody in. Aliyah was a host, and I want to say Ita is a host as well, so they can accept students in to the tutorial services. So let's say I don't make it to the meeting, Aliyah makes it, she'll be the host, she'll be able to accept any students in. If you don't make anybody else a host, I know a lot of you guys already know about Zoom. I just want to make sure that it's clear. That way we get out to a fresh start and when we start tutoring in 2 weeks. So if I would have made it to the meeting and Aliyah would, she would be able to admit all the students and we wouldn't have any trouble. If you guys don't make anybody the host when you're creating your meetings, nobody would be able to accept the students. So if you're not there, then nobody's going to be in the tutoring session. Okay, just to clarify with that. You'll have your own group of students. Let's say Jordi, Jose, and Celeste are Southwest. We have about 30 some students in Southwest. You guys will have the same amount of students individually. So let's say, and that does not mean that you will only tutor those 10 students or 10, 11 students. What means is that you'll be responsible for contacting those students and letting them know, you know what, we start the tutoring session on Monday. Make sure that you're here. If those students are not going into the tutoring session, you keep calling them, you contact them. If they're falling behind in their classes, you're the one that's gonna be talking to the instructors. But at the tutoring session, anybody can help them because I don't know, Carla might wanna get a tutor from Celeste and not Jordi. But the same is what we want is that we have a group of tutors, but you guys are always helping students. You're not relying on the other two to help everybody else and you're just there monitoring, okay? So let's keep that in mind that it's a group of tutors for 30 students or 20 students. It depends on the high school, like I said, but we're all helping all the students and I'm not, you know what, today none of my students logged in, so I'm not gonna help anybody. That is not how it's gonna work. If none of your students logged in, you're gonna help Celeste students or you're gonna help Jose students. So that's how it's gonna work, okay? Just to make it clear, like I said, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. At the end, we'll answer the questions. What is it? Oh, so we talked about sharing. What we want is, for example, we have a lot of students that have big assignments, like Aliyah mentioned, and they always wait till you meet with them to go over the assignment. Have them share the assignment with you a day before. That way you can review it and see how you can best help them with that assignment. If it's like a math problem, they can share it right then and there through the chat. If there's too many students in the Zoom meeting and you really need to work with the students so they can share their screen and there's important information, go ahead, go into a breakout room, work with that students, but always make sure that there's someone in the main room helping the others, okay? And that's it. Sorry, go ahead, Aliyah, sorry.
No, yeah, so that's basically it. For some of you, you were able to do it last year. If you guys have any questions and you later on, you can always send us a message and we can walk you through Zoom or anything else, but we will be showing videos. Can you go to the next one, Rosa? So here are just a few videos of how about Zoom etiquette. So this is joining a meeting.
Can you guys hear the audio? Let me know. Yeah.
Invitation.
No, Rosa, actually, I can't hear.
Como que sí, como que no.
Mm-hmm. I have them up if you want me to share.
It's up to you if you want to share them. Let me see if there's something that I can do too. So I remember last time I was sharing and I had to do something to the video, remember?
Yeah, it's a setting before you share your screen.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna stop then the sharing and you can go ahead and share the videos then. And then
Okay.
I'll share the PowerPoint again. There.
Today we will be going over how to join a Zoom meeting. We've got a couple options, but we'll go through the first one via email invitation. Once you receive an email invitation for a Zoom meeting, you can quickly view the join link from the invitation. You can click this invitation and you will be prompted to either download or launch Zoom. If you see this message waiting for host to start this meeting, that means the host has not started the meeting on their side yet, and you can go through while you're waiting on them, test your computer audio, select your input levels, select your video, and go through and select your virtual backgrounds. Your second option is to directly join Zoom meetings from the Zoom application. You can view all your upcoming meetings under the Meetings tab and quickly select Join. If you have any questions on joining a meeting, please contact us at zoom.us. Thank you.
Okay. And then the next one is about scheduling a meeting.
How quick and easy it is to schedule a Zoom meeting on. Today we'll be going over how quick and easy it is to schedule a Zoom meeting on the web portal. After you log into your Zoom account, select the Meetings tab and schedule a new meeting. Here you can decide on the topic, date and time, and if the meeting needs to be reoccurring. Meeting passwords are enabled by default. You can also customize the password itself. You may disable this option as needed. You can also customize the audio and video and have additional meeting options like join before host, waiting room is automatically enabled, and use features like authenticated users. After you have scheduled the meeting, select Save, and here you'll have the ability to add the meeting to your calendars like Google, Outlook, or Yahoo. You may also copy the invitation and paste it to your preferred platform. If you have any questions on scheduling a meeting, please contact us at zoom.us. Thank you.
So right there, I'm gonna go back. So what the meeting? You guys remember to click the option to have a waiting room. That way you guys can see who you're admitting. And then also right here where it says alternative host, this is what Rosa and I were talking about. So if you're the lead, this is where you're gonna be adding all the other tutors' emails. That way they have host access to the meetings. And remember, right here, you can quickly record the meeting because you need to for all the tutoring sessions, or you can go ahead and click record once you join. But keep in mind with that, that's really easy to forget. So you have the option here to record automatically. Okay, so with that, the breakout rooms.
Hey everyone, Farah from Zoom here. On this brief video, we're going to show you how you can leverage our breakout room feature to take a large meeting or virtual sessions. You'll see that I have already enabled the breakout room feature, which you can find in your settings along the bottom. And that breakout room button will actually be right here. This is a button that only your hosts or co-hosts will be able to see. And right now we don't have a co-host in the session. If I manage my participants, I can hover over Catherine, for example, to make her a co-host. So she'll see this button now as well. When we're ready to split the group into smaller sessions, I can easily click this button to get a pop-up window asking me how many rooms I'd like to assign out and how many participants per room. For this example, it's recommending, since there are 6 people, we can split it up into 2 rooms. I can do this automatically or manually. So if we click on the automatic button, it'll generate those breakout rooms for us. Certainly if there's anyone I want to swap out, maybe I want to move Michael to the other room, I can exchange him for a different participant. Once I'm ready to open all rooms, I'll click this open all rooms button and our participants will be able to join the sessions that we've created for them. So we'll slowly see those people join. One thing that's really important to note is that as a host or a co-host, you can actually hop between the different rooms to talk to the participants. You can see here I have the join button. Now everybody's left to go to the rooms. I can broadcast a message to everybody and say, wrapping up in 1 minute. And this will broadcast the message. And then I can close the rooms, which gives them a 1-minute timer to rejoin our session. We'll give everybody a second to rejoin, and I'll show you 1 or 2 additional features with breakout rooms. There we go. We can kind of see everybody kind of popping back in. Now everybody's rejoined the main session. You'll see that I have the opportunity to reopen these rooms again, which is really great. If you have a very long session or a very long virtual class, you can split into these virtual smaller groups as often as you'd like. And the additional options here will allow you to automatically close breakout rooms after a specified amount of time. You can also change the countdown timer to be 30 seconds or 2 minutes if you like. I'll show you a setting where you can also pre-assign folks to be in your breakout room before the classroom starts. You'll want to navigate over to the class that's already been created in your Zoom portal. Under the Meetings tab, you can find your meeting. Scrolling all the way to the bottom, you'll see if we open this to re-edit it, I have the opportunity to pre-assign a breakout room here. And I can create the rooms and upload a CSV with all of my participants in advance so that their names are already populated in the room when I start the session. That's basically how you can run breakout rooms. We hope you found this video helpful. If you have any additional questions, please visit us at support.zoom.us. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.
So that is kind of the outline of what you need to know for Zoom. So with that being said, I see our director has joined us, and I know he's only with us for a few minutes. So I am gonna stop sharing my screen and let Mr. Torres speak.
Did you have a lot, any left to present, Aliyah?
No, well, not me, but Ita's part's next, so.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I know I saw some of you earlier. Have we done intros to everybody? Did we? Okay.
Yes.
So everybody got to meet each other? All right.
Yes.
So good morning, everybody. I'm Luis. I've met all of you, I believe, everybody. So welcome. Hopefully you've been learning quite a bit. I don't know what part of the training we're at right now. But I just wanted to share some words. I'm in a conference right now, in a virtual conference, so I've been going back and forth. So hopefully all of you are excited. Those of you who are new, some of you are alumni, so you know how this works, and you're looking hopefully forward to being a mentor, a role model to some of our students. And so all of you hopefully know the schedule. We're going to meet today, obviously. Friday we meet again. Those of you who are, most of you are going to be staying there live. You will be getting a certificate for doing the training. And then we also have another training next Wednesday. And then we have another training on next Friday. And just to let you know, it's been a tough year. We hope that all of you, aside from just being a tutor, are going to look forward to be helping our students academically. But we also, in addition to that, it's not just the tutoring program the way it is. The world has changed, so we need to change with it. So even though it's a lot tougher, we need to empower our students. So make sure that you realize that we need to motivate our students. A lot of our students are down and out right now. They have trouble comprehending what's going on around them. As you know, a lot of our students, or most of our students, are from low-income households. So a lot of them are stuck in their house, and they're probably going through some real life situations right now. But then, so that makes the third thing a lot maybe tougher. We need to make it fun and engaging. So we don't want to be just like school, where they clock in and that somebody presents to them, then they clock out and that's it. Hopefully we're all looking forward to how to make Upward Bound a lot more fun and educational at the same time, which might be kind of hard, but I'm pretty sure all of you can come up with some ideas. We have some ideas how we're going to do that. I want you to look at this as you're just not here as a tutor. I'm going to be here, do my time, and get paid. I want you to be engaged, to bring ideas. So feel free to speak up and have ideas. And if you see something that's worked, maybe with somebody in your family or in one of your classes, let us know so we can implement it. So before I leave, I don't know if some of these things have been mentioned already, but I won't be here at the end. So my expectations. So now you guys are tutors, but I will have professional expectations from you. So that means, I think that we already do the email part, the Google part.
Yeah.
Rosa? Yes. Okay. So hopefully all of you see the reason for that. So you guys are all going to gain skills that are going to help you now become a better tutor. But I think these skills are going to be helping you in the future 2 to 4 years from now, when you have a professional job. And then you'll look back and it's like, all those skills I gained right now, they really helped me out. And I have heard that from many, many past employees who will tell you, you were expecting more stuff than my previous employers, but that helped me out. So we will meet. I don't know if this was mentioned already. We will have a training or a meeting the first Friday of every month at 8 o'clock. So all of you hopefully are really good already at using your calendars on your phone, a physical one, a planner. If any of you need any supplies, we have supplies. Let me know if you need paper, a calendar, or whatever, pencils, pens, highlighters. So circle those dates and always be early. It's always best to be at least 5 minutes early to tutoring and to meetings. So don't be, if a training is at 8 o'clock, you show up at 8:01, so it's like, hey, I'm here, so try to treat this like it's a professional job and start getting ready for that. The earlier, the better. We're going to have 3 types of logs, and I don't know if you got into that part. You're going to submit a daily one, a weekly one, and a monthly one. You'll get the details later, but make sure that you submit those as you have them done, and don't have us, reminding you. You will submit your payroll timesheet on the 10th of every month or before. If it's like on a weekend, let's say the 10th falls on a Sunday or something like that. So make sure you submit those in a timely manner. And I don't know, I don't think that's been covered, right, Rosa? So you'll get that information. What was that?
No, we'll cover it. We haven't covered it. We'll cover it. Sorry, it's because I was on mute.
I'm spoiling all the fun. All right, so then make sure that when I send out an email, confirm it. I know, put that, just just take it for granted right now that every email I sent, or Rosa sends, or Elia sends, or Itza sends, that you confirm. Now, if you're in a rush, you're in finals, midterms, you can just say thank you, got it. If you got some time, some downtime, maybe you want to practice writing the quick emails like, hey, thank you for the information, and that's it. So you can start practicing sending emails, responding to emails, because at some point soon, you guys are all going to be out there in the professional world. You know, and be prepared when you come to these meetings, be prepared to learn. So nobody has a photographic memory. Always be ready to write, always have a notepad, always bring a pencil, pen, and, you know, a notebook. Yeah, I would recommend that you have a notepad just for upper bound related business, so you don't have it mixed with your other schoolwork. If you need notepads, paper, like I said, things like that, let me know, and we can get that. And then last but not, you know, like I said before, we need to be professional and empowering to our students, and so I have high expectations from you. I don't know if they covered with you what the behavior we expect at trainings. Rosa, did we go over that, cell phones and stuff like that already?
Yes, that's the first thing I covered before we started the meeting.
Okay, great. So then just, you know, no distractions. Hopefully all of you have a private area to work with. Anybody has any questions before I leave anytime soon? Is everybody excited about the new year?
Very excited.
All right. Anybody, you know, I'm doing the conference training right now. We're learning how to make our Zooms a lot more fun. You know, we want to, our Saturday events that we're going to do, we might do some Friday events, playing music, playing games. So when you're thinking about how to make our activities more engaging, more fun, it's not necessarily like, oh, how can I teach financial aid in a more fun way? It can be just like, okay, what before I get to financial aid, or before I get to math, how can I make it fun? Is like, I'll play music, I'll play some games with them, some trivia, things like that. Those are the type of things that we need to do, so that when the tutors come to your tutoring session, they're like, that was fun, I want to come back. That's not like how school is, right? I'm learning, they're helping me with my homework, and I had a good time. Now, that does not mean necessarily like I'm going to talk to them about my personal problems, what I did over the weekend. I'm having some relationship problems. That's opening up too much is not what that means. It means like, let's have fun, let's empower them, let's motivate them, let's make it more about them, and so forth. So thank you. I will make sure that you are there. You know, those of you who don't, there might be one or two that have some class conflicts. Friday, make us proud. You will be there. Staff will be there for the training on Friday. So please bring your best, bring your A game for Friday with the tutoring training, and that you make a good impression, because you're basically, from this point on, you're representing Upper Bound. And so when people talk to me about this group, I want them to say like, wow, this group is really professional, and they're engaged, and they had questions. It's always good, by the way. I recommend if somebody's ever doing a training, and you might know this, you might not, and the lecturer presenter says, you have any questions? Somebody have a question. We'll give extra points to people who have questions when that happens. The worst thing that can happen if you have 20 trainees and somebody's lecturing, and then they say like, any questions, and everybody's just staring at the lecture. That either means they're not engaged or they're not paying attention. So please, for the next 2 Fridays, have questions for those lecturers. They're actually going out of their way to do it for free for us, which is you know, they didn't have to do this, but it's a great opportunity for you, like I said, because you get that certificate. So please be professional. Please bring your best effort on Friday and have questions. With that being said, any other questions before I send it back to Elia? All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Torres. Okay, so
There's a few more slides that you have to cover, Elia.
yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. There we go. Okay, so with preventing Zoom bombings, So with that, never use your personal meeting ID. That's why we say when creating a meeting, please make sure it has a meeting password, that you use the waiting room feature. And with that, the students will have to have their names, so you can see who you're admitting. Um, I have the outdated version. I'm sorry. So not mute and disable video for the meeting attendees. Um, we encourage the students to have their cameras on and speak and and participate with you guys. So ignore that one. I'm sorry. And then just verify that the student is an upward bound student. Rosa, do you want to add anything? Because I know we added a pointer.
Let me see what's the difference. Okay, so we added that you guys should not accept any students who have their name on. They should always have their name and their last name on, because what you're gonna have in the list is gonna be the name of the student. So make sure that when you contact the students, you let them know, hey, we're gonna start tutoring on October 10th. Make sure that I'm gonna send you the link, and in the email that you send out, you do specify and tell the students, when you're logging into our Zoom tutorings, make sure you have your first and last name. If not, you will not be accepted in. It's really hard to, if they're using a nickname, to verify if it's the student or not. So please make sure that you tell the students that they have to use their name, their full name, when you're admitting them. I know Alia mentioned to enable a waiting room. That way they can start appearing in your screen and you can verify if they're students or not in the program. Let me see what else I have in here. Always use a meeting password. Did you cover that, Alia? Yes, right?
Yeah.
And then make sure that the students are coming in and they're muted, because sometimes there might be noise on the background or things like that. So make sure that when you let them know that when they come in, their audio is muted, but they have their cameras on. So they have to have their cameras on. Let's encourage the students to start doing that. I know a lot of the teachers at the schools are not requiring that, but for us, it is a requirement that they have it. And you guys will have a list, like I said, like I mentioned before, a list of the student names where you're gonna be able to see, because I know you guys don't know everybody in the program. So you'll have a student list with all the names of the students in the program. That way you can verify if they're part of the program or not.
Thank you, Rosa. Okay, and then for creating your Zoom account. So if you worked with us last year, you already have one. And Rosa sent out an invitation for those that are new. And that will give you access to all the features. I think it's called, it gives you a live Zoom. That way you can create the meetings. You're not limited with the options. Sorry. So creating the Zoom account, and then you guys have, once you create your upward bound Gmail, please provide that email with to Mr. Torres, and then keep in mind that your Zoom should be used only for work related activities, so tutoring, the meetings, and things like that. And then just stay organized with all your passwords for your Zoom, your Gmail, and everything else.
So as I mentioned it before, everybody got sent an email so you guys can get a license soon through the program. I know most of you guys already accepted and already have already tried it. If you haven't tried it, please play around with it. That way you guys can get familiar with the account. I know there was only two tutors pending to accept. If you guys haven't received anything from me, put it in the chat. That way I know, and I make sure that I created an account for everybody. I should have created one for everyone, but just in case I missed someone, like I missed at the beginning, send me a message. Let me know, you know what, Rosa, I haven't received anything. I don't have a licensed Zoom account. That way I can go ahead and add you to our users the account.
Okay, and technical issues. So as we mentioned earlier, things happen. Our internet can go down, especially internet right now. So with that, just have a backup plan. So if you have a tablet that has internet access, have that charged and around. Your phone data might work better than your Wi-Fi. So if your internet goes down for your computer, you can use your phone for Zoom. Um, but please, like we mentioned, if you are having any technical difficulties, let your immediate supervisor know as soon as possible, just because if the three of you in one site might be having technical issues, and just so we can make proper accommodations. And then also let your coworkers know after you let us know. And just tips: restart your computer, restart your modem and router. If necessary, get to try and restore your internet access. We also added, and I don't have it here, I'm sorry, that if for any reason your main source of technology breaks, or you're having issues, please let us know. That way we can lend you a Chromebook from the program so you can conduct tutoring. Okay, and then that I will off to Itza to cover about FODA study.
Good morning, everyone. So we will have two applications that you will use throughout the year. The very first one is Photo Study. So basically what Photo Study does is it's an application where you will ask questions via an app, well, like a cell phone app. So basically how it works is that you take a picture of a math, physics, or chemistry problem, and then you send it through the application. So right there, they're going to ask you questions such as, where did you get stuck? Where do you need help? And then you will get an assigned tutor. So the sessions last about roughly 10 minutes. The tutor will explain to you, the tutor will break it down, and you will have images or equations, anything that you need in order to solve this problem. Basically, you are in a chat session instead of video. So everything is via chat. You can do it via your computer, or you can do it via your cell phone. If something is not clear at any point in the lesson, you can ask the tutor for more clarification, and you can let them know whenever you're ready to continue. We mostly want you to use this app whenever, obviously we can't help every student, we don't know everything. So if there's any point in the session when you're with a student that you need help, you might want to refer this app to this app. Now we will show you how to log in via your computer. Can you change the slide, please? Okay, so it's pretty easy. When you're logging into it with a computer, you will go into the Got It app. You will first, you have to log in with a preset account. So you have to make sure that when you're logging in, you're using the email that you gave Upward Bound, because that email is already registered with that application. So once you do that and you use your Upward Bound email, you will then create a password. Once you create a password, you will have access to the whole application. As you can see on the slide, you can ask an expert, you can describe your problem. You do have 5 sessions per day. So that means that you can ask 5 questions throughout the day. So let's say in tutoring, you only use 3. Every single day it gets renewed at 2 a.m. So that way, the next day that you have tutoring, you have another 5 questions you can possibly ask a tutor. It is mostly the same thing when you're using your cell phone, but you will download an application. Can you go to the next slide, please? So it's the same thing. The only thing is you will go to your app store and you will download the Photo Study app. Again, please make sure that you use your Upward Bound email when you're logging in, because it's already set into the account. It's the same thing. You put in your email, you create a password, and you have access to the whole app. You can upload images, you can upload problems, or you can write things out for the tutor. If at any point you need more clarification, you can ask them to extend the chat or that you are done with the problem completely in case you don't use up your 10 minutes. So it's a pretty self-explanatory application. Obviously, we want you to use it. We want you to better your math skills. It does help you with chemistry and physics, so you can use that as well whenever you're tutoring a student. Another application that we also want to implement is Khan Academy. So basically for Khan Academy, you also have to create an account. And to do so, you will go into their website and you will choose your subject. So for example, you can sign up with your email and you have articles, practice problems, and videos. So basically you're going to click on the course tab at the top left of your site and you will search for a topic to get started. So let's say you want to practice Algebra 1, Geometry, or Algebra 2. This is all for you to practice. And once you choose your course, you will now choose your unit. So basically, courses are Algebra 1. So now if you're focusing on units, let's say you have chosen your course, now you can look for the unit, which is the exact thing you want to review. So if you're doing Algebra 1, you might want to review inequalities. So you select the main unit or an individual lesson, and they will give you relevant videos, articles, or practice exercises. After you choose your specific unit, you also have other options. You can take a quick unit test to see which concepts you've already mastered and which you may need more practice on, or you can dive in from the beginning and do a practice exercise. So you can basically test yourself before you start a unit to see what you already know, or you might want to start all over to just review it. So basically the way the application works is you can watch videos or read articles to help you learn new skills or review the important concepts. So what we recommend is if a student is telling you that this week for biology, they're covering something specific and you don't really understand it, you might want to go into Khan Academy and go over some lessons. I know for chemistry, you might not know moles. You might want to go into Khan Academy and review the lesson, watch the videos, or use a photo study app to ask an expert. So it's basically what it is. And you can do it at your own pace. You can speed it up, you can slow it down, or you can rewind to watch videos. It is also very important for us to practice what we already learned. So as we are building our confidence with concepts, we can also test ourselves. So let's say you already finished a lesson, you can go back and take a small quiz. Obviously, these quizzes work with points. If you master it, you will level up in mastery. So it just really depends how much and how often you want to use it to demonstrate your understanding, and that way you can track your process throughout the year. Like mentioned before, once you finish a lesson, you can try a mastery challenge. So it's just basically for you to review and practice your skills that you've previously learned. Mastery challenges always consist of 6 questions that review 3 skills. So basically, once you complete 3 units, you will get a mastery challenge and you can test yourself and review what you've worked on throughout the entire course. It's very important to build a routine. Obviously, we don't expect you to be on Khan Academy like if it was an actual class, but we obviously do want you to go over the topics that students need help with. I know we're not experts and I know we don't always understand everything. I know for myself, when I was doing math, even though I like math, I didn't understand every concept and I didn't know everything. So this can potentially help you. Of course, if you want to look at it, students are good with letting us know what they're working on for the week. So if on Monday they tell you I'm working on Algebra 2 and this is what we're doing, we're graphing, you can go on Khan Academy and look up, okay, well, this week they're going to be graphing, so I'm gonna take a mastery challenge, or I'm gonna do a unit on graphing. So it's just very important for us to be our best selves. That way we can help the student whenever they come to us for help. And there's a little note that says, be patient and persistent. We know that sometimes in your learning journey, things will be stressful and frustrating. You won't always understand something right away, and that's okay. Your brain is like a muscle. The more you use it, the more it grows. And we believe that you can learn anything. With that being said, please let us know if you have any questions accessing any of these apps. Like I said, for the photo study app, make sure you do use the email you provided Upward Bound with. And for your Khan Academy, you can feel free to use whatever email you choose. I recommend you use the same one. With that being said, we're now going to look into timesheets.
Erica. Shia? Erica, are you on?
Yes, I'm here. I'm just trying to log into the webstar. Okay. So you should all be. Well, first of all, I know there's about 6 new tutors, and I sent out emails last week so that you guys would contact Athena Chavez, which is one of the HR specialists that's in charge of the student employment. I don't know. I think I received messages from 3 tutors. I asked to be CC'd on the email when you sent it out to her. So if there's any of you that still haven't contacted her or contacted her and just forgot to CC me on the email, let me know, because we do have to get that process going so that we have access to your timesheets on website. The timesheets are going to be due in a couple, maybe 3 weeks. So I just gotta make sure that you guys have access to Webstar. And I am going to share my screen so that I could show you how to log in. Just a second. So timesheets are due, okay, I'll just give you a little bit of background before. Timesheets are due on the 10th of the month, of each month, but we would like to have them earlier. I would like to have them at least 2 to 3 days before, just so that I could review them, make sure that you did put the days on the hours on the right date. I know there's sometimes we get confused with, if there was a holiday, if there wasn't a holiday, if you were out, I have to make sure that all those hours are put in the correct spots, and because they could use those for when they do audits. So if we have our tutoring centers are Monday through Thursday, but yet you have hours on a Sunday, I have to make sure that we correct those errors. Timesheets covered time period from the 11th of the month to the 10th of the following month. So this next timesheet that we're going to be submitting in October is actually going to be from September 11th to the 10th of October. Okay, so I am going to share my screen now. So when you're logging in to do your timesheet, you're going to go to webstart.imperial.edu, and you're going to use your G number. If you've ever been a student at IVC, it's always going to be the same G number. You have to use your G number before you were able to use your social security number. They changed that now. So now we have to use our G number. So let me go ahead and log into mine. Okay, so you see the tab on top. This is main menu, personal information, student services, financial aid. You're gonna click on the tab that says employee. So you click on that and you're gonna hit electronic timesheet. And you're gonna, I have 2 different ones because they changed programs. So, but it will usually be the only one that you have. So then September 11th through October 10th is the next timesheet. I haven't started working on it, so that's why it says not started. So it's selected, and I'm going to click timesheet. So it takes you to this menu right here. I have more options because I'm a classified employee, but you'll have actual hours work, sick pay, and I think there's one that says quarantine leave, which has to do with COVID. If at any time when you're working, you test positive or whatnot, then you would have to use the quarantine leave. You do earn sick leave hours, and I think it's 1 hour for every 30, if I'm not mistaken. And you'll start earning those later. So what you do here is you're gonna go to the day that you're gonna enter the hours, like Friday. We'll just put the 8 hours. So you're gonna click on it, it's gonna take you to another screen. You're gonna type in the amount of hours, and you're gonna hit save. And it automatically updates the timesheet. So then you're gonna do that for every day, especially if you have different amount of hours. Like say one day you work 2 hours, the next day you work 3 hours or whatnot. Then you're gonna go into each day. If you're working the same amount of hours every day, what you could do is you're gonna go to copy, and you're gonna select the days here that you wanna copy those hours to. So if I do September, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I hit copy, and then I go to the timesheet, it'll automatically update those days for me. Okay, and then to go to the next week, you just hit next. Am I getting anybody lost? Does anybody have any questions so far? I'm sorry, I know I'm going through this really quick because it's really familiar to me. Okay, so then you just keep putting the hours in, you hit next. And then also when you complete your timesheet, before you hit submit, you're gonna go up here where it says preview your timesheet. You're gonna click on it. And it's gonna load a report where hopefully it's taking a while. Okay, so this is the report that you would need to submit to us. It'll show the hours that you worked, and it'll give you a total. If you could sign this and make that, like you're gonna make an equation like 48 hours times your what you get paid equals, you know, whatever it is, and you sign it and you send it to us. But when you're saving it, if you could save it with your name and put like mine would be Erica Aguilar, September 11th, October 10th timesheet. That way we know when especially when I know Luis asked me, when he saves them on his computer, he could always go back and check your, you know, your name. So if you save it the same way every time, so Erica Aguilar, September, October timesheet, Erica Aguilar, October, November timesheet. That way it's easier for him to look on his end, on his timesheet, when he's just saving it automatically on his computer, and he could search for it faster. So before you do that, if you send me the copy of this report, that way I could check it. Once I say, you know what, it's good, everything's fine, then you sign it and you do the equation for the hours, and then send it to us. So you're gonna send it to myself and to Luis. Okay, so then to go back, you just hit the X. If you need to make any changes, if for any reason you kind of get ahead of yourself and you hit submit, right here, submit for approval, it's at the bottom. You automatically do, you know what, and you say, oh, I messed up, or I need to change that, you just hit return time. And it'll take you back to the screen where you could enter the hours. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, also, and something that's very important is that you need to make sure that if we approve you for 15 hours, you do not go above 15 hours, okay? Because we already projected our budget, and that's how many hours we projected for each tutor. Well, not every tutor, but it's just an example. If we clear you for 12 hours, make sure that you work the 12 hours and you don't go above those hours. We don't want to be in the red in our accounts. Also, make sure that if you're out, you don't put those hours in there unless you have sick leave and you're using it, because you're out sick. Okay, and then I could show you where you find that as well. For those tutors that are returning, you guys already have some time accrued. So what you do is you're going to go into the employee tab, and you're going to go into the time off current balance history. You click here, and it's going to give you a little report of how many hours you have for sick leave. So it'll give you like a report like this that tells you how much time of sick leave you have accrued. Let's see what else. Also, if you are scheduled for 15 hours and you don't work those 15 hours, make sure you don't put 15 hours because, oh, you're projected for 15 hours and, you know, even though you don't work them, you're going to get paid for the time that you actually work. Okay, so if you have 15 hours yet you are working 10 hours because you have class or you have an appointment or you need to show up to work for one day, make sure that those hours that you're putting in your timesheet reflect the hours that you're actually working. Anything else, Rosa, that I'm missing?
Do you want to go over the slide that we have with notes? Just one more slide, I think.
Go ahead.
It just has like notes, like, go ahead and put it, Aliyah. You want to share the PowerPoint?
Okay, so this is just like the stuff that I already went over when you're entering the hours. So when you're using your IVC, make sure that you know you're using your. If you don't know it, let me know, and I could actually give it to you. The new staff that has never been to IVC, when you meet with Athena, she will give you that information because she will have to create a user account for you. If you've never been to IVC, if you've never filled out an application, she'll give you that access information.
You change the screen.
Okay.
Go
Yeah, this is what I covered already. You know, where you have to go into do your timesheet, where you put in your hours. When you hit so when you hit your submit for approval, make sure that it's after I tell you, you know what, your timesheet looks good. Or like I said, if you hit it because you thought I had sent you something or you just hit it in accident, you could always go back and return time. Okay, like I said, timesheets are due on the 10th of the month, but we want you to complete them before. Usually like the 8th or 9th maybe. That way we have to make, if you need to make corrections, then you have time to do so before the deadline. And I will be sending you hours, like not hours, I'm sorry, deadline timesheet schedule kind of thing, or, you know, the pay period that's covered, when the timesheets are due, and when you're getting paid for the day. So, but for the payment, so you submit timesheet, like this next timesheet is going to be from September 11th to October 10th. Those hours are going to get paid at the end of October, and then the following timesheet is going to be October 11th to November 10th. Those hours will be paid on the 30. Is it 31st or 30 days? I don't know what November has, but it'll be the last. It will be the last working day of the month. Not necessarily the last day, because if the 30th is on a Sunday, then you get paid on the 28th. And usually checks do get mailed for students unless you do have direct deposit, which I encourage you to do so that way there's no delay in your payment. Is there another slide?
That's it.
Okay, so if you have any questions, please check your emails. I just to make sure that you did see the email that I sent out last week regarding the appointment with Athena. If you've already emailed her and she's already scheduled you in for an appointment, please let me know. That way I know everybody's clear. Any questions? Because I do have to leave right now. I have an appointment, so. Or if you guys have any questions later on, you could always email me.
I didn't receive the email.
You didn't? Okay.
Contact Athena. No.
Okay, so let me check really quick.
I didn't receive that email either.
You didn't?
Me
Okay.
either.
Hold on. Let me see. Maybe. I'm just looking really quick Fabian Rendon. No, I already, here we okay. I'm sorry, can you guys say your name? That way I could look for you in my email.
Gilberto Macías and Yvette Lopez, right?
Yeah.
Enrique Valdivia.
And Enrique.
Oh, yeah, Enrique, I didn't send it to you. I'll send it to you this week just because you were like, I added you later. That's why I didn't have it for you. Let's see. Okay, so let me go ahead and look for it and I'll just forward it to you again. The emails that were on the directory were all correct for you, right? Because that's the emails that I'm using. I'm going off of the the emails that are listed on the directory. Just make sure that those are good. Can you share that, Aliyah?
Erica, mine's still wrong.
Oh, I haven't. No, this is updated yet. It's what she
Oh,
shared
okay.
earlier. I just want to make sure,
Okay.
especially for the new staff. I just want to make sure that I do have the correct emails, just because I'm sending stuff out like this.
Mine is correct.
Yours is correct. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine is too.
Oh, Yvette, on yours is a little bit different because you're a professional expert. So I sent you that information. I did reply to you, sent you that Martha Van Divas was going to contact you to when she got back from vacation, right? Did you get
Oh,
it?
yeah.
Yeah,
So
yours
I
is different.
just wait for her email?
Yeah, you'll wait for Martha because you're different. You're in a different category.
Okay, sounds good.
My email was wrong.
Your email is wrong. Okay. Oh, and I see that you shared it in the chat. Perfect. Okay, I'll go ahead and update it. Let's see. Okay. Who was the other person? I'm sorry. You're muted.
Yeah, it was me, but my email is also correct.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Perfect. Okay. So then I'll go ahead and resend the email. That way you're able to contact Athena, because there's some forms on there also that need to be completed before your meeting. That way you're out of there faster. So I'll send that over again. And is there any more questions before I head out?
Any questions related to timesheets before Erica leaves?
I have one about the direct deposit. If we've set it up, in the past years, do we need to set it up again, or does it just kind of like transfer
No, it
over?
rolls over. It rolls over.
Thank you.
As long as there's like not a gap in between your employment, as like you were out like a semester, then you're good.
Okay, thank you.
And if anybody needs the forms, go ahead and email me. That one could forward the forms to you to get the direct deposit. Okay, well, nice meeting you guys. If you guys have any questions, like I said, regarding payroll or anything that has to do with HR, or you don't know who to direct your questions to, you could just email me or even text me. I know you guys are going to be getting the directory, and my information is on there.
Thank you, Erica.
Thank you.
Can you put up the PowerPoint, Elias? That way I can finalize it, and if there's any questions at the end, I know some of you guys have to go back to class. I just really want to go over the tutoring logs. Okay, so as we mentioned, you guys have to complete a few tutoring logs. Go ahead, and there's a link right here where you're going to be able to go. We'll give you that information as well. But the link will take you to this tutoring form, and basically what this form is you're right. This is the one that's going to be submitted on a daily basis. So you put your name on the top, a time that you came into the tutorial center, and then you'll start writing down the names of the students that you helped that day. And then at the end, you can make some notes. So you have a little space right here to make notes. And then you'll have the time out, and then you submit. Like I said, this is the one that's going to be submitted on a daily basis. Then there's the one that we have here that it has the Upper Bound Classic and UBMS tutor log info. So this is for each student. So at the end of the month, you're gonna have to submit one tutor log sheet for each of the students that you're in charge of. So if you have 10 students, you're supposed to be submitting 10 of these at the end of the month, and I'll tell you how to, you're gonna be able to calculate all the hours and everything. So there's gonna be like a weekly one, which is like a weekly basis one, and then I'll show it to you. I don't have it on the PowerPoint, but you'll be able to log in every student when they go in. So let's say Luna is my student, so I'll log her in. She came in on Tuesday at 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. and she worked on history and she worked in English. So I'll write it down there. And then at the end of the month, because I have to submit these by the end of the month, I'll transfer all that information right here. And then you'll submit one for each student. Can you stop sharing your screen, Alia, just so I can share the weekly one? And then this is the one that you guys are going to be sharing every week. Let me share my screen really quick. Can you guys see it? Yes? Okay. So this is the one that I'm saying. This is the one you're going to be submitting on a weekly basis. At the top of the form, you're going to put the month of September from the 5th through the 10th, and then 2020. And then you will already have this. It's going to already say Calexico, and it'll have all the names of the students at Calexico High School. This is an old one, of course. And like I said, for Monday, so let's say Alfonso came on Monday, you write down here what he worked on, the time he came in and the time he came out. And this is for us to know like which students are participating, which students are not participating, and then you total the hours. These weekly ones will help you fill out the monthly ones, but these have to be submitted on a weekly basis, okay? Okay, go back to the PowerPoint, Alia. Next. You guys are required to do a main data report. So all the information to do it, you guys are gonna basically go into, this is the webpage that you have to go into, or the link. And then you'll go into the mandated child abuse reporting for educators. You'll go into there, and then you'll start the mandated reporter that you have to do. It has to be completed by next week, Alia, correct?
By the next time we meet next week.
Okay.
I will actually upload this PowerPoint to our Google Drive, and I will share the link of the Google Drive with you guys, so you guys can have access to this PowerPoint. Or actually, no, Mr. Torres sent you guys this PowerPoint, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then you guys have access to
Is there anything else after this? I do want to comment on some other things. Okay, so the important dates. We do have the training next Friday, or this Friday actually. And then we have another training on Wednesday the 30th. And then we have another training on Friday, October 2nd. And then we hope to start our tutorial centers on October 5th. So just make sure that you keep those dates on your calendar. We do have an academic calendar that we're working on that will have the dates that we want you to submit your timesheets on. So I have all the important dates on there. So just keep track of that calendar that we give you out. So it's a calendar that we create with all of the important information that we're supposed to have, like when does a semester end, when are you supposed to be submitting your timesheet on a monthly basis, and then we'll have all these dates in there. And then I want to go back to what Itza was talking about with the photo study app. What I'm going to do is the ones that have been in the program before, the tutors before, they already have an account. Those of you that are new, don't have an account yet, what I'm going to do, well, probably if you were a student, you have one as well. But those of you that are fairly new to the program, don't have one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in, I'm going to add your emails to the photo study app, and then I'll send you an email with that information on how you guys can create an account. Once they upload your email in there, you'll have access to the account, but you have to go in and create your own account. I'll send you all the instructions on how to do it as well. So I'll make sure I do that today. And then with Khan Academy, what we want to do is, like I said, the students go into the tutorial services center or Zoom meetings and they don't have anything to work on, make sure you use Khan Academy so they can start doing some assignments for you there. What else? That's it. Okay, so now we're gonna open it up. Do you wanna say something before we open it up for questions? Because I know there's some tutors that have to go into class.
No.
Okay, so by that, is there any questions? Do we need to clarify anything, any of the slides? Do you guys want us to go back to any of the slides so we can clarify any of the information that we share with you? We have about 10 minutes. So this is the time for you guys to ask any questions. We did wanted to help you create or to see if you guys know how to create an account through Zoom. But because of the time, we'll go ahead and do that next Wednesday. We'll make sure that you guys know how to create a Zoom meeting. I'm so sorry. So any questions right now?
I have a question. Go ahead. Go ahead, Celeste. Go ahead.
The tutoring logs, que son weekly and monthly, just the lead tutors are going to do them, like always?
No, everybody has to do them because let's say you are in charge of Calexico Center, but then you don't show up. Everybody has to submit the monthly ones. So everybody is in charge of submitting their own log sheets.
The ones that are lead tutors, we're going to be submitting like for all of the students or just the 10 that we are assigned to?
You will only be submitting the ones for your students. But the weekly ones have to have everybody in there. Because, I mean, yours are going to match whomever is with you in Central or Southwest or whichever school you're at. Those have to match. Let's say it's you, Juan, and Jorge at Southwest. Your 3 weekly ones have to match if all of you guys were there. But let's say you were there all week, but Juan wasn't there one day, he'll be missing that information. All right. Nancy, you had a question?
Yes, Rosa. I was wondering, when we created the UB Gmail, should we switch that out for the email we've already given you? For example, mine's at iCloud.com. And it's at iCloud for the current Zoom you guys created in the spring. So would we get like a new account if we switch that Gmail?
So if you create a new Gmail account and you send it to me and that's the one you're going to be using, what I have to do is I have to go into our Zoom account, deactivate the account that you already have through Zoom, and then I'll create one with a new email that you send me. It's no problem for me. It's actually easier if you want me to do that because I know that you'll be using that email for everything that you do. So it's fine if you guys create an account and want to send it to me. If you want to send me your email, the only thing that's going to happen is I have to go in, deactivate the account that you already have, and then you guys are going to go, I have to resend you the account, so you have to reactivate it. It's going to be with your new email. That's fine. Like I said, if you guys want to do that and do it right now, not right now at this moment, but do it before we start the tutorial sessions or before next week. Because then next week when we have our meeting, we do want for you guys to be able to show us that you know how to create a Zoom meeting. So if that's what you guys want to do, and also before if you're going to change your email as well, I have to add it to our photo study account.
Yeah.
And then that way you guys can start working on that one. If you guys have the old one, I'm not gonna delete that one. That way you guys have access and have access to more sessions. If you guys want more access to more sessions, like we said, you guys only have 5 sessions per day through photo study. If you guys are using it all, you guys can provide me another email and I can go ahead and add it, and then you guys have access to more sessions as well.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? This is the time to ask. There are no, I always say there's no dumb questions. There's probably someone else wanting to ask the same thing, but they don't want to ask. So go ahead and ask. This is the time to ask. If we don't have the answer to everything, we can find it. Go ahead, Daniel.
So when do we know where we're placed?
We'll probably tell you guys next Wednesday.
Okay.
We don't know ourselves yet, okay? Don't think that we already know. We don't want to say it. We're going through the schedules, and then we're trying to figure out what's the best fit for each of the centers. What we want to have is we want to have a really good balance of someone who's good in English and someone who's good in math. We don't want to have 3 people who are good in English in one center, and then they don't have anybody in math. So we want to do a balance of that. That's the reason why we haven't actually had time to set anybody at any of the centers. So nobody said, like I said, we don't know who's gonna be where. I don't even know because we haven't gotten together with our director to figure out who's gonna be where. Questions, comments? I'm just gonna say, if you're in my centers, you guys are lucky. I'm kidding.
Not really.
No, we hope that this is a fun year, you guys. We want to make it so that we know that the students are really stressed out at home. They really want to be, like I said, and I can't say it as much. When we met with them, they were like, we really want to be in tutoring already. You don't know how many text messages I have already from students that want to go into the tutorial centers. Well, now through Zoom, right? But they want to go back. They want to be able to see us. They want, not only us, of course, they get to see the other students. So like I said, please make the best of it. It doesn't have to be, we want to be, like I said, the first thing is, of course, educating the students, helping them on whatever they're falling behind on or whatever they need help on. But we also want to make it fun for the students. I know Nancy's always making jokes and the students really appreciate that. So yeah, things like that. So just make it fun for you, fun for the students, but at the same time, it's an educational program and that's what we wanna put for the students out there. So if you guys don't have any more questions, I know some of you guys have class. If you guys wanna stay behind at the end because you guys wanna ask the questions when everybody's here, Ali and I will stay here for a few more minutes and you're more than welcome to stay and ask us personally if you guys have any questions. So with that, if there are no more questions, thank you guys for being here today. We apologize for some of the technical difficulties that we had, and we hope to see you guys on Friday. Make sure you make it on time, like I said, not only for today, but always whenever we have meetings. Like Mr. Torres said, we are gonna have monthly meetings, probably twice a month if we have any Saturday academies. So make sure that you guys log in at least 5-10 minutes before. Let's be a little professional. Sometimes, well, my director usually logs in early. I always log in a bit early. So let's try to be on time. That way we can get started, or that way we can start our meetings on time. And like I said, do not forget the general rules that I mentioned, that Mr. Torres mentioned. Every time we meet, no cell phones, focus, have questions, share thoughts, take notes, and that's the rule for all the meetings and every time we meet. With that, see you guys on Friday. And have a nice rest of your day. Bye-bye, guys. And nice meeting everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.